Okay, welcome to After Party 37, where we're going to discuss sessions 110, Much Ado About Izzy, and session 111, Sisters.
That's not quite what it was called. I should have went with Sisters.
So yeah, we're doing an AP with these two sessions.
Yeah.
And lot happened.
A lot fucking did happen. Not so much in 110, though, quite honestly.
There was a lot of talking. There was a lot of things we needed to get off our chest.
That's true.
Our chest? Our collective chest, I guess.
Well, Falzern's chest is our collective chest.
I see what you did there.
His chest is my chest, and my chest is his chest.
Well,
that was in our vows.
Wait a second.
Hon, I think we missed something.
I don't remember
That's so
that.
weird. That was in the vows that Izzy gave Falsey when she gave him this goblet.
Yeah, it was.
We missed that. He was strapped down to a table. I didn't know they did that in their
Yeah.
wedding planning either.
Yep.
So Emily was kind enough to take a bunch of notes for me again today because I had a really shit day at work. So take it away, Emily.
Well, in 110, Much Ado About Izzy, we had just killed the Kraken in the previous episode, so we were kind of dealing with the aftermath of that. And Shaft casted a healing spell,
Oh, yeah.
which we later found out was nerfed by wizards.
Yeah, by an errata.
So I thought that was funny that I made it very perfectly clear about my previous screw up of having two concentration spells going on at one time, right before apparently we did another spell. I did another spell incorrectly. I will argue, that even though it is no argument, I read it off of the card and I didn't look it up in D&D Beyond, which was right in front of me. And the card stops right at the point where it tells you exactly how much you can heal. It tells you everything up to that. But since Spirit can heal up to 1 plus your spellcasting modifier, which is only 0 for me because I have picked Wisdom as my ranger. They gave him a 14. So, 11. Sorry. So there you go. That's why Leland was nice enough to let me chuck that spell. So I took Lesser Restoration, which is not a concentration spell. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And it's very clear in the text of how that works. So I think we're cooking now.
So another healing spell.
What's
Not
that?
really.
Lesser Restoration is a healing spell, right?
I can get rid of disease, paralyzation, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I can
okay.
Cure somebody.
Cool.
It's a curing spell, more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the quote, "That's why they call me Helpful Shaft."
That's right.
Apparently that's what everybody in Drukhall calls him, Helpful
Uh-huh.
Shaft.
You guys have only known me for 6 to 8 weeks.
Or
And you haven't been
5
around
days.
any of my friends. So you wouldn't know what they call me.
I just will state that when executing this spell, it's like, this seems too good to be true. And when you feel like it's too good to be true...
Well, it was at one point in time too good to be
exactly.
true, and then they
That's why it was
nerfed it.
errata, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was even questioning, hey, it seems like, this is way too powerful for a ranger. But hey,
I wasn't going to argue. Leland allowed it.
Well, the good thing is we took a short rest anyway, so
Yeah.
it all sort of worked out in a wash. We would have went ahead.
Yeah,
and
you just would have
used
spent
hit
more
die.
hit dice, which you get back on a long rest. All of them on a long rest anyways, because that's our house rule, so whatever. Comes out in the wash.
And we all know we get like a long rest like every other session.
Exactly.
All the time. Constantly long resting.
We are the most rested bunch of adventurers ever.
Seems like all you do is sleep, huh? Don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you.
Sleeping in Aspara, not sleepless in Aspara. It's, not to be confused.
So we decided to call the Pegasus to us so that we could let the Tritons know the Kraken was dead without their help. We did it. Well, Mia did it.
Mm-hmm.
And the one Pegasus that came to us was not looking so hot. Had encountered a couple foes, maybe.
Ruthless. Can't believe you did that.
Poor
Leland.
guy.
You did that to the poor Pegasus.
Okay. I didn't do anything. I keep
How
telling you,
could you
I'm not doing anything to any of you.
I just don't know how I forgot about the crabs so quickly. You know, there's just so much going on. I'm like, oh, there's claw mark. What would pinch some? Oh, right.
Yeah, it was really obvious
Yeah.
listening to it second time around. I was like, obviously, those
Well,
crabs.
yeah, once you know the answer, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But I can see where listeners would pick up on it because they had just heard the last episode or whatever, and like, I don't know.
But fortunately, Slava saw the Pegasus come into the cave and assumed that probably meant something, so he came to check it out. So we could talk to them for a little bit.
Yeah. Our good buddy Slava.
Good buddy Slava. We had a conversation about who would control Heraklion and what would happen if it stayed in evil hands.
Quote unquote, you guys. Those don't translate.
Well, I was hoping that the pause around evil
Yeah,
would
I think
translate
the
to a quote.
inflection
Oh,
really says
okay.
it
Okay,
all.
hold on. Let's okay, rewind. Do that again.
I don't even know what I said. What the fate of Heraklion was if it was to stay within evil hands. So Slava suggested, maybe destroying the island would be a good idea.
Slava went from like 0 to 60.
Real quick.
Yeah, like, come on, dude. That none of us were suggesting that.
Yeah, but like think it from his point of view. Like he really doesn't know anything about civilizations on the land, right? I mean, yeah, they protect land dwellers, but it's not like they live among them or really converse with them very often. It's incredibly rare, Falzarin, that you have developed this friendship with a Triton, really, and he's just doing his duty. I mean, he said, yeah, let's get everybody off this thing, but it's got to go.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Now, was Slava the character that suggested to us that there might be something special about Heraklion?
I think he posed the question, why this place?
Yeah.
I found that extremely interesting because I was like, what is Leland trying to tell us? What is happening?
Well, I mean, we have been questioning why Heraklion too. Why was a Kraken in that cave? Why there of all places? Why was
Right.
Erica assaulting the city? Why was she there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there definitely is something about the island.
And why does Izzy decide to become an elder of Heraklion?
Yeah. That seems a little bit more obvious now.
Well, sure, what's still the answer?
Well, I mean, she stated the weapon.
Right.
You know.
She did say.
Yeah.
Obviously some type of trade or whatever, but.
So, we plan to go talk to Izzy, and we asked Slava to go with us. And he agreed, although he had no idea what a city was or what it looked like or anything. So he
He's
probably went
naked.
with us more out of curiosity than anything.
No, out of duty.
Okay.
Naked
Duty
Slava.
and curiosity.
Describe to us what Slava looks like again. Mr. Naked Slava walking through town.
Does he have a shirt on?
He doesn't have
Which
pants.
celebrity
but
would you compare him to?
what's the
Like Donald Duck in
celebrity
it?
would he be? He would be what's a really fish face looking kind of guy.
What?
Yeah. Like what's that gif with the guy making that weird face, that big surprised face? He's got that long I don't know.
Oh, he's
Look like sea monkeys.
There
sea
you go.
monkeys?
They're giant sea monkeys.
What's that superhero movie that came out that had the guy with the long hair who like everyone thought was the most attractive male to ever walk the face of the earth?
Oh, well, you're talking about Aquaman.
Yeah, that one.
Jason what's his name?
Sure.
Jason Mimosa. Because I drink him up.
Cheers.
It's Momoa, but
That's what it is.
that's who I'm picturing as Slava. But you're telling me
It's
fish
not
face.
Slava.
So like fish face to me is
No.
like Sheldon Cooper. What's his name?
Canon now. Slava's
Yeah, like
Jason
they're-
Mimosa.
I mean, they're not like I don't think they're
Jim Parsons.
Slava's not like lanky. I mean, he's got some heft to him, but
He's
So
chiseled.
Jason
He's got
Momoa's-
nice long hair.
He's like,
Jason
Expression
Mimosa's
was-
body
naked.
with Sheldon's face.
perfect and like
Okay.
bluish green with webbed things.
Nice.
Webbed
Things? Things?
Webbed for
Webbed everything.
someone's pleasure.
Webbed for pleasure.
He has no emotion, and he's so animated that we tend to forget he's even there.
Yeah, he's easy to lose track of, I'll tell you.
So we all go talk to... Oh, we decided to go talk, see about Grimby first. We were going to go to the Knowledge Center, heal up Grimby, and then go see Isabella. And we got to the top of the keep, and we heard Alamar.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of stopped us
buddy
in our
Alamar.
tracks.
Yeah. I think there was someone that screamed no.
Screamed a little bit, yeah.
I was a little bit exasperated.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear the picks and who he was talking to first. And when we walked by and they said they were going to elect a new council or a new,
We're
new
not
set
there
of
yet.
elders.
That's the next
that's
episode.
We were just standing out. You just said we heard his voice.
And that's where it ended.
Oh. Okay.
Great. And then, yeah.
In session
And then
111,
immediately following that, we heard the fix.
I said, hey.
Yeah, let's just pretend we continue. Yeah.
Well, the end of 110 was also the end of one of our play sessions. So I left you all on that Alamar cliffhanger.
Yeah, you
as
cliffhangered
well.
us.
You're like, I
Yeah.
think we're good. I'm like, no.
Ruthless.
Yeah, I had some theories, though, that it was actually Alamar that brought himself back. He was not yet a lich, but I looked some stuff up, and there was a way he could come back with his, what do you call it? The
Phylactery.
Phylactery.
phylactery, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought you were doing, because I looked it up and I went, oh, there you go. He can come back if he gets back into his body in a certain amount of time. I can't remember what it was. I looked it up. And so it was either that or it was going to be a doppelganger, or it was going to be what it is. It's the only ways it could be.
Yeah.
So I was sort of surprised either way.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Sardo twist.
But shouldn't we by
Well,
now?
we
Yeah, we
said it.
definitely
I think,
should've.
It's like,
I think in the episode we said, now Sardo is going to come and get his
Yeah, I
body.
think that
And I
was said
think, well,
in an after party, yeah. After,
Yeah,
after
and I
Alamar
said,
died.
does he get all of Alamar's powers when he's... I think we had that
Absolutely
conversation
not.
too. No, I don't think we went that way. I think we decided the other way.
I will
didn't we?
just say that it's probably a good thing Falzern has Alamar's spell book.
Burning that sucker.
oh.
Just if I can't have
not
it,
even
no
gonna-
one can.
Not even one attempt to try to copy a spell.
Well, I've been copying, let me tell you. Every
On
spare
what
minute
long
Falls he
rest?
gets, he's copying.
gosh.
Scribble,
One
scribble,
sentence at a
scribble.
time.
So, I mean, what, you don't think Janella, Tenchi, and Hef would make good elders? I mean, I would make 5.
We had a conversation in 110
Yeah.
about how if the right elders were put in place, everybody would be cool.
Right.
So the first thing on 111, Shaft says, of course, sounds like they got some good people. Problem
I
solved.
fucking love Shaft in these 2 episodes so much. Alamar's dead? They killed Alamar? That's one of my favorite lines in the keep.
you killed Alamar.
What?
So what would be the 5 elders proposed? Isabella stays an elder.
It would be
Even though she's
Izzy, Alamar, Tenchi, Janella, and Hef, eh?
Even though in front of
Right.
everyone she's like, I'm peacing out. Like by the end of the episode.
No, she changed her mind when Shakara spilled all the beans
Okay, well,
about the power.
One bean. One bean.
Spilled one bean.
I guess I assumed when she's like, well, not for long, I'm taking this weapon and blah, 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 meant she was leaving. Okay.
She said the weapon wouldn't be on Heracleon for much longer.
Right.
She didn't say anything as far as the explicit
Okay.
words. I'm out of here. I'm done with this place.
And I
In
don't.
fact,
I
she
think we
said
were the
the
only
opposite.
ones there when she said that. Anyway,
Right.
she didn't say that in front of anybody else.
Okay.
Right. Well, she not only said it wasn't going to be there, she specifically said it was going to Samuel Cultus.
Okay, so like politically speaking, 4 people we think are decent and 1 person that we know is a bad egg.
4 people we think are decent. Who's the 4th?
Leland just listed them.
There's
Tenchi,
3.
Hef, Janella, Alamar, and Isabella.
Oh,
Alardos.
Alamar.
Alardos.
Nah.
Tenchi Look at those three that they chose. Out of all the people on Heracleon, all the people that are magic users of all different, and to be an elder is a very high-ranking thing. All the ones that were there when we got there were very powerful people. This is a tattoo guy,
black
a
market
bartender
guy, like
yeah, well,
criminal.
some people might say that. Some people
Hero.
just say opportunist.
Hero.
Yeah, or a businessman.
A
really.
bartender and a librarian.
A bartender and a librarian. Why?
Because they became heroes during the battle for Heracleon.
No, I think they got doppelgangered or their life sucked out of them or something. Something's up here.
It's like the
I'm
three
not
people
buying
we've
it.
had the most contact with in Heracleon, where we would think, oh, that they're good, cool, and leave them alone, right?
And I did
Exactly.
do a check on them to see if they looked like they had been mind controlled in any way, and they didn't, that I could tell.
Yeah, you did a check.
Right.
Janella likes shafts, so I mean, character judge her from that. But what about these necromancy freaks following them around? They didn't want them because we don't like them or know them. See, there's an angle where we like and know these three.
Yeah. Awfully sus.
Mm-hmm.
How would Isabella know that?
Isabella knows everything. The
She probably has
scapulet.
been listening through my scapulet.
Mm-hmm. I've said that all along. I think that she's been, at minimum, he's a little tiny cell phone that she can turn on and off and listen whenever she wants to.
Yep.
But not anymore.
Not
Nope.
anymore.
I've been descabulated.
No thanks to Shaft.
Very much thanks to Shaft.
Yes and no. You tried to kill the poor man.
Look, the only thing Shaft did wrong is he didn't think about Falzarin rolling a fucking 1. Other than that, everything was safe.
Man,
pretty
that was
intense.
close.
Yeah.
That was close. What,
was
like
scary.
4 points off of me being
3.
insta-killed?
Got a 9th level cleric and a paladin there that can heal.
Yeah.
Get that goddamn thing off of him before everybody starts mouthing off to Isabella and we get killed.
I saved a spell slot for Revivify, and if he was insta-killed, it would still work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just
I
do it
mean, I
within a
guess
minute.
I was
What?
not that worried.
Revivify is as long as you can revivify a creature that has been dead for less than a minute and then come back to life. Yeah.
Even if it's the double the hit points thing, it still works.
Yeah.
Death is death, right?
It just works on a dead creature. Yeah, on a creature that's died.
So there was no risk.
Good
It was
to know.
still intense, though. like-
Theoretically, yeah, there was no risk.
Right.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Bill?
Unless perhaps something happens to his body, maybe.
or again, I don't have the spell slot or whatever.
Right. And this is,
Yeah.
I mean, we touched on this a couple after parties ago about like material components that have gold costs that we don't keep track of. It really allows like a cleric to perform these high level death defying spells for free because we don't track gold components. So it makes that class probably a little OP maybe as far as some of its functionality, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I think there's 1 or 2 wizard spells that requires like a massive diamond or something, isn't there?
Oh, there's lots of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like identify
Yeah.
requires a pearl. Doesn't consume it, but
Right.
We'd have a lot of side quests running around finding new components.
well, exactly. Like,
Right.
it's shit you'd play at home, but like we're not gonna do that for a podcast.
Leland, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Hulsa a single now? Because we never saw
You
Tulsa.
never saw
whatever her name was.
Tulsa. The last time you saw Tulsa, she was it looked like she was kind of getting overrun on one of them cultist boats.
Mm.
So Hulsa, the single, formerly the twin, formerly triplet.
Yep. Poor Hulsa is the last of her line now.
Mm.
Dwindled real quick.
Friend of Izzy.
Friend of Izzy.
Speaking of friends of Izzy, no, I'm just kidding.
So we came up to the keep. We were going back to the very beginning of this episode. And we heard the people vote in Janella, Tenchi, and Hefe. There was a vote. There was people there. They were all in favor of this. We felt all warm and fuzzy in our hearts about this development.
It's something's fishy. Something's fishy.
Fish face fishy.
Yeah, it's fishier than
Slava.
Fishier than our buddy Slava.
And I called Sparky to go spy on the whole proceedings. And unfortunately, as Mia predicted, Izzy could sense that Sparky was there.
Yeah. It's really hers.
Yeah, girl. Sparky ain't yours.
Called us out. So then we went in to talk to Izzy.
I thought it was nice that everybody that was filing out of the keep stopped by to shake our hands and tell us how great we were, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was a little odd feeling. You think?
Odd to get recognition for something some good you've actually done.
Shaft's not used to being the hero.
I would have rather, I sort of sat there on the side with I picture my foot up on the wall, leaning back, and didn't want anybody to see me as they were leaving. And then suddenly everybody's drawing attention to, hey, great job with the cannons. And I was just there thinking everybody was just going to, file on out and past us. And then suddenly everybody starts, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't like this. This is drawing attention.
Shaft is a famous hero now.
A lot of people saw, what you all did during that night, for sure.
And we have a Triton with us, which is quite a spectacle, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're a pretty rare race, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's got no pants.
So, yeah, we...
And he looks
I
like
have
Jason Momoa.
With all them webbed things flopping all over the place.
Well, he's got webbed things, all right.
So, I will say, oh my god, none of this went the way that I thought it might go. How would it have gone if all of you had just went into the keep and not sent Sparky, and Shaft and Falzern had immediately seen that Alamar was Sardo? Because you would have, had the two of you actually seen him, right? And it wasn't just Shakara through Sparky's eyes. How differently would that meeting have gone? Would you have either of you two intervened in this vote that includes Alardo, Salamar?
I feel like we're grasping from a different IP here.
No, I definitely don't think we would have intervened because from the perspective of everybody else in that room, it was Alamar.
Right.
And Isabella is not a bad person in their eyes.
Yeah, it's very difficult for us to jump in and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who's going to believe us?
If you would have said something aloud that let Mia know Alamar was Sardo, there probably would have been a fight, at least from Mia.
You would have picked
exactly.
a fight in the middle of
front
this
of everybody?
meeting.
At least thrown a temper tantrum. Instead, even more, stuff to piss Shaft off.
You are the wild card, for sure.
Well, Sardo is inhabiting a dead man's corpse. I'm super not okay with that. I know that clerics can be played in many ways, and I have some weird spells, right, that are kind of necromantic, but I don't use them on purpose. That's not Mia.
I think the difference between Mia and Shaft is Mia will go, I'm going to do this now, and then you're going to run in, and then a whole bunch of stuff will pommel you while you're throwing your hammer around, and Shaft's going to go, I'm going to do this when I know I'm going to win.
That's the experience.
Yeah, Mia's still very young, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm saying I'm happy with the way you're playing your character and the way Shaft's playing this character. I think that opposing viewpoints is what makes the interactions with people so interesting, because I think a number of times this episode, Shaft was just poking Falzern into just say
shut
this.
Shut up.
Right.
Just
And
get it off.
Looking at Mia.
Then we'll deal with it later. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
nice to be able to separate from your character and be like, yeah, Elena wouldn't think that's the right answer, but Mia's like so naive.
Even I play Falzern that way as well, right? Falzern's not an adventurer, so Shaft is always nudging him, saying like, shut up, shut up.
It adds
Right.
a cool conflict. I like it.
Yeah, and Falsey's getting more and more savvy as you spend more and more time with Shaft. So what would
He's a
you...
slow learner.
Okay, so in the scenario, let's say, okay, you like Mia gets nudged and Shakar like, okay, that's not Alamar, that's Sardo, he's back for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the newest elder is about to take him back to his study off on their own. What do you do there? Do you follow them? I mean, because obviously you would have drawn Izzy's eye, probably, right? Like, what happens then? Like, what happens at the end of this meeting? Or do you
I don't
still
know,
stay in here, and then now your conflict with Izzy is even more intricate because now you know Sardos is somehow in the mix. I mean, your characters still know that and really don't know how or why, what the hell is going on between the two of them, obviously.
Did we ever say on Mike that why Sardos is chasing Falzarin and Shaft?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it was explicitly said. No, I don't think it's like he's come back for us. I don't really recall, actually.
We did say something about him being able to track us.
Yeah.
We did figure that out, and he was coming for us. So that you guys both knew that, but other than that...
Oh, did Falsey and Shaft ever tell Mia and Shakara about it?
Yeah.
No.
But see, I don't see why you wouldn't, like, think of all the times characters would be talking where we're not recording. Like, all the time we spent together after killing them, I feel like... Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know if Shaft would have ever said anything. Falzarin might have.
I feel like Mia
Yeah.
would maybe have a clue that it's a revenant.
I bet Mia's probably read something. I could get you to do a check, maybe. Write it down. I'll get you to do a check next time we play.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. If we would have said that's Sardos, I think they have enough information that we've said that who Sardos was before,
Yeah.
and we killed
Yes,
him
I think so,
before.
yeah.
That I think that would have been something to drive you. That's not Alamar. That is another creature in his body. What would you do? I think is what Leland's getting at.
And alone, though, he said. So, like, we're not in front of everybody.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, Alardo was going off out of the room away from people. I mean, what would you try to follow him?
I'm curious. I don't have a good answer, but why was he so weak and feeble when he left, and then when he came back, seeming to have a bunch of spring in his step?
He was playing a role, and when he came back, he didn't have to play the role anymore. Is what I was.
Oh, you
getting.
think that's what it is?
I don't know. Is that what that was, Leland?
Possibly.
So no.
What do revenants eat?
Something else happened.
He inhabited this body that sucks, and then he went away and slayed a human and ate them and took their vitality. And
They're undead. They don't need food, air, or water.
I don't know.
But no. I mean, I don't give that answer to give you a negative, to make it a negative on your question. It's just like your characters don't know. Your characters, what would they guess? I mean, I think that's a pretty good guess.
I mean, Alamar was like that in front of everybody before. So if Alamar was walking around with a spring in his step, everybody might have a question.
Yeah.
But if he was playing a role, that's what I'm getting.
John's so
for
smart.
Sardos was.
Okay. So you think that the now revenant inhabited body of Alamar isn't subject to Alamar's
Frailty.
frailty? Yeah.
Ailments.
Nah, I'm assuming.
Gotcha.
But Shaft would not follow him back there under any circumstances.
I don't know.
To answer your question.
Why Mia would.
I would have, if it was up to him and other stuff wasn't happening, he would have walked in and told Isabella, "We've done the boat thing. Get this thing off his chest. You and I are done. Shake hands and move on." And I don't think, knowing that Alamar was a revenant someplace, he was going to go offer himself up for a fight.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you're there in Shaft's mind. You're there to do one thing, and then that's all you need to do. You can get the hell out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you know Sardo is going to continue to follow you?
Yeah.
That's why he's got to get the hell out of there.
I'll
take care of that situation when I have to.
Then we're not really leaving Heraklion with 5 elders.
No, we're not.
No.
Britt said on Discord, cool that Shaft thought to ask about Nina, even though it was Izzy he asked. Did Shaft consider that he just revealed a weakness to Izzy?
Yes, I did. I did. It was a couple things. When I found out Jessica for sure was the sister in Victure, I was trying to pull some information out of Isabella by bringing up that I knew somebody there, and also seeing if I could make a deal. And neither one of those things happened. She didn't give me any information about the disease or anything that would happen, or just that she would talk to Jessica about that, I think is all she really said. So
you think that means anything?
It didn't work out the way I wanted.
You think the lack of information gleaned means anything?
I don't know. I didn't know how you were going to, when I said that she is sick, that you were going to say something like, "Oh, well, that's the thing that's happening in Victor because of the," giving me some piece of information to be able to maybe go heal her or find some way to cure her.
Maybe Isabella doesn't really fully know what Jessica's doing. Because it didn't seem like she seemed fully to know what Erica was doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
That's a show, in my opinion, but...
And I also wanted to just throw that name out there again for everybody to know that there's a little bit more going on there, too. It could have been good and bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could just go kill Nina, or they could use Nina against me in some way now. Sure, that sounds like a great story, doesn't it?
So, question to Elena, when Mia mentioned Barrick, were you concerned about triggering Izzy? Like, she wouldn't even consider doing anything to Barrick till you mentioned it.
No. But also, like, Leland interrupted me and I never got her to agree or say anything. So...
That's true. Do you think that means anything?
Ugh. I don't know. All I know is that I plan to play Mia a character that, like, sent spells, like, sending spells home and, like, communicated a lot with family. But really, in the week she's met you guys, she hasn't talked to them at all because it's been complete chaos. So there's a lot to be said and a lot going on in the world and a lot that I would now be, like, my eyes are open and I'd be afraid of. But I don't know. I saw her as, like, a speak to mom and dad at least once a week type person, so they would maybe be worried at this point too. But yeah, I don't know. In the moment of playing, I'm not like, ooh, let's tell Izzy about our weaknesses. I don't know. I thought I was being tough. Being like, don't touch my family.
Oh, I thought it was more like, please don't touch my family, Isabella. Please.
So is that why you said, I'm the one that killed Erica, I'm the one that killed the Kraken? Because you were being tough?
Yeah, were you fronting?
I think Mia's trying to convince herself not to be so afraid. There's so much crap that's like... She was... like, on the ship over from Campbell's lab or whatever, right? Like, she needed to drink that potion of heroism because she was afraid. So, no, she's not. She's fronting cocky because I think she's trying to convince herself. Well, think about her mom and dad issues now, too. All that crap. So she's just trying to, like, feel good about herself.
Well, you pissed off Shakara, I can tell you that.
Well, yeah.
Britt says, wow, Shakara telling off Miss Brightwood. Are we going to see conflict between them later?
I mean, in some ways, I think that's good storytelling because if you're calling me hoity-toity Mia or whatever, right? Like, Shakara was very, like, judgmental or snooty or better than others is how I feel she came across. Self-righteous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she was getting chosen to be part of the C word?
Because of... No,
originally?
No, I'm talking, like, when you met her...
Oh, yeah, originally Shakara thought she was
she's like,
bad
I'm
shit.
doing all these good deeds and, like, how dare you, like, pointing the lawful good finger at all these people type thing, right?
Yes.
And now I think Mia's more like, no, I'm pretty confident that I chose the side of good and Shakara's not on it or whatever.
Yeah, whenever you point a finger, 3 more point back at you, Shakara.
Apparently, jeez.
Well, same with me, I guess. But how does Shakara's mad because what? Because does it make you feel a little bit guilty deep down or like have a conscience of like, I've changed?
No, because you were showing her up.
Yeah, you completely put her down in front of her fucking
Yeah.
patron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much called her out by name, yes. There was no confusion. It wasn't just I killed the Kraken. It was I killed the Kraken, not Shakara.
Yeah, this is like, in a bad way of saying it, it was my moment to shine, and you just poured shit all over it.
I think Mia knew what she was doing, and I think Mia's perspective is less of a like, please let me into the coven, or like, I want to be your pet, Izzy, and more of like a Shakara, like, I don't know, like a personal, like, I'm better than you, or you thought you're so good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's going to be conflict in the future.
Seemed like two people were fighting to be the better the thing they didn't want.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that's some stuff that happens in real life with girls. I don't know, like maybe that's lame to say, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless of your fronting, I mean, Izzy gave you one sniff and outright refused you, regardless of what you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
well, take that for what you will, for if she's good, evil, or neutral.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
really.
like,
You're not coven material, I believe is what she said.
no.
Well, the other thing before we move on, the thing I was going to say about Shaft and Izzy is I think I want Izzy to feel that Shaft is an asset to her rather than something that can be tossed away, right? If they have a good relationship, she might maybe hire him to go do something, or he holds no grudge against her, so why he's no threat to her.
Right.
Right.
So maybe he will help. Maybe she will help Nina in the long run to earn some kind of something over on Shaft anyway. Why not? Why not keep her on your good side? Because Shaft is not really about being on the good or evil side. He's an opportunist.
Yeah, he's about being on the side that benefits him.
That's exactly right. So, what about Falzer in there?
Are you heartbroken, Falzern? Yeah,
Falzarin is just loving where things have ended up.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
You're free. You're free of Isabella's influence.
Yes.
At
I only
last.
had to nearly die twice to get there.
It only took 80 episodes, but finally you're free.
Oh, what a shambles. Heracleon's just...
That was pretty intense. I mean, when I was designing that, I'm like thinking, okay, like Shakara's probably going to be there. He's going to be in our aura. There's a pretty good chance he's going to pass all these con saves.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But they were escalating in damage. It started out fairly hefty. The first one was 8d6, and then went to 10, and then it went to 12. So it was pretty significant and very dangerous to just sever. Like, could you imagine, 20 episodes ago when Shaft just wanted to rip it out of your chest if he had tried to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
been bad.
man.
Would have been bad.
Yeah. Or possibly even maybe severed one or more of the tendrils at the same time. I mean, that would just compounded what you were going through.
Mm.
I don't think I would have ripped it clean off. I think I would. You always pick a scapulet.
Let it
That's
heal
true.
a little bit more and then pick it again.
Then you let it heal back up a little bit.
I don't know why Shaft was so against Falzarin drinking the celestial blood, because we read in the ritual that's how you do it. And also the ritual, if it was done wrong, could be deadly. But, I mean, that's what the ritual said. You drink the blood, you drink the phlogiston, bada bing, bada boom, all taken care of.
There was a few reasons. Number one, you already went through 2/3 of the problem. The other thing was we had clerics there. A cleric and a paladin was going to heal him. And the third thing is I wanted to get the hell out of there before one of you people mouthed off and got us all killed. Because you guys continually all have to say, and let me tell you something else, Isabella, that I don't like about you.
Listen,
I
we
have a
all
condition.
expected to be fighting Izzy when we started this session.
Yeah, we did.
Mm.
I think in the moment, Falsey was like very suspicious of where she got all of this celestial blood. And
Duh, unicorns. Or
didn't we
whatever
already
they are.
discuss that they
Pegasus.
weren't celestial?
Sorry, they're Pegasus, not
Yeah,
unicorns.
Pegasus. We did say they are celestial.
They are
They
celestial.
are.
And they're
Yeah.
all dead.
Yeah.
Okay, well, even more so then. Falzarin, that's like tainted blood, man. Falzarin doesn't want to drink the blood of those noble beasts.
Magnificent beasts.
You don't want to
Yeah.
drink anything Isabella
What if
gives
you
you.
No.
drank it and you were like, tastes like a noble beast?
We're going to bottle this and sell it to Alebender, the noble beast.
The Bloody Stallion.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh.
That's a good bar name.
Falsey was very turned off by seeing, not
Wooden
knowing,
buckets.
where this had come from and what terrible deeds Isabella has done to procure it. So I think he decided in the moment, you know what, I would rather go through the pain and take the risk of injury to myself than be involved in whatever terrible deed Isabella has done.
There you
Do
go.
chicks dig chest scars? Because if so, Falzarin is very ready to mingle.
Falsey's a wreck.
Well, you got to start wearing your robe about as unbuttoned as you got your shirt on right now. Then you show
Yeah.
off that, show that bad boy off.
Bill has one button undone, everybody.
And
Leland's
Leland
just
can't
really
stop
happy
looking
about
at
that
it.
one button. Yeah.
Try and be professional, Leland. Goodness.
So Izzy did tell us that the weapon was going to be given to Samuel Coltis because
Yeah,
he
she
needs it
did.
for something. What do we think the something is that he needs this weapon for?
Tie in chapter 2 and chapter 3 together. Well, I don't think any of us know enough to make an educated guess there. I don't think she's necessarily going to stick it up on top of a tower and start
To
shooting
kill
things
the
from.
rest of the forest.
That's what I thought.
I was wondering if he planned to decimate Victor and get rid of the disease.
With the weapon?
Yeah, I don't know, like incinerate it all.
Hmm.
But she said Jessica's and Victor doing her end of the bargain for Cultus.
Yeah.
So-
She said that Jessica's involved with.
With Cultus, too.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that would be it.
Isn't Jessica and Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's doing her part, sort of thing.
Well, what do we know about Victor? There's a big clock tower in the middle. There's a whole bunch of people that are sick. And it all happened within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we know.
Yeah.
There's a nice guard named Roland. He might be in Drakal now. Working.
I think Roland's in Drakal.
Yeah.
He knows Kumquat, the password now, but
Yeah.
now, I think.
He knows Kumquat. Roland knows Kumquat. There's your quote.
I don't know what her end of the bargain is. I mean, we don't know anything about her.
No.
No.
Jessica's the
No, we don't.
unknown.
I mean, hell, at this point, I'm surprised any of you really remember the Paladins of Cultus exist, quite frankly. It's been 100 episodes since we've seen them, so.
Yeah.
Now, I will say they don't move forward very quickly. It's been 30 some odd years, right? So they are, we can give them 3 or 4 more weeks. They'll be all right.
You don't know what they're doing.
Well, they got a new shipment of metal beasts sent to them. I know
True,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. No, Falsey is very much happy to finally have severed ties, quite literally, with Izzy. But,
Will you miss your Eldritch Blast?
I mean, it's
How are you going to get everybody's attention now?
a nice cantrip.
Yeah, you're barely using it. I mean, so technically you're a level 8 now, I think. Everyone's level 9.
Yeah.
So you do need to back up your XP, but you do get to keep whatever your max HP is. So you're kind of up in that department.
Right.
Like you didn't
needed
drop
all the
a
help he
level's
could
worth
get.
of HP. So
How many hit points do you even have, though? Like 40 or something?
It might be 50 something.
Okay, it's still quite a bit lower than us, so.
It was in the high 40s after having been drained over a few days from the scabulet.
right.
Well, maybe the backup scabulet will kick in and then.
Yeah, the one
Have
you
you
put on
checked
your
your whole
butt.
body? Yeah. Have you checked your body? Did you swallow anything? Did she make
That mole's getting a
No.
lot bigger.
Yeah.
The butt pupulate. Butt plug.
Can you imagine pulling tendrils out of that?
Oh,
That one's
Crazy.
coming out, yeah.
A butt plugulate. Okay.
Super McDad says, okay, I have a question for the AP. What the hell, Shaft? Why did you leave Shakara behind when Drag could presumably have just as easily taken everyone? Was this something John and Emily had discussed off mic? No,
No.
we did not.
I thought it was pretty clear. So I think I even said
You
it
did.
in the episode, but if it was unclear...
You said it to Falzarin when she couldn't hear or see anything, because she was Sparky.
That's right. The one thing I regret is I didn't do the wink. Because right before we puffed out, I was going to do the wink to Shakara.
The wink and puff?
But I didn't get to do it.
Oh,
But that's
wink and
okay.
puff.
Like the brown eye wink? What's this wink? Wing setup? Like what?
The wink and puff means many things.
I've never heard of wink and puff.
I made it up, but a brown-eyed wink and a puff would be a brown-eyed wink and a fart.
Well,
I've heard of Lincoln Park.
just wait till we're done recording it off Zoom. I'm sure you'll hear all about it.
So there's really two ways to look at it. Either Shakara is going to go to the side of evil. In that case, we don't want to be around her anyway. Or she's really good like we think, and then we've got the inside person, right? Who better to have than somebody that is going to be in the council with Isabella and everybody else to let us know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Can we give her a scapulet?
No.
We'll get back in touch with her once we find out where the hell we're going.
I will find you.
Yeah, I'll have a foot in my mouth if she turns out to be good and like a double agent, but it makes it interesting.
And I can't remember at the time what happened and made me forget to do the wink. I think you said something like, okay, to Mia, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on right now. And, Alamar walked in,
Simultaneous stuff.
and then everybody was making the decision, and then that was it. And I
got
the
okay.
damn wink.
Britt did ask if I would have teleported if I had been included in the spell, since it's a willing creature thing. And I think I probably would have gone.
Interesting.
Kills me. That kills me.
I am so glad it worked out the way it did then.
That's bonkers.
That
Man,
is
I wish
interesting.
there were a lot of you could listen to that last 30 minutes with Shakara, because it was good stuff.
I will say it almost had Shakara and
Slava.
what's his name? Slava standing there.
That would have been hilarious.
I had to catch myself at the end and go to drag, and Slava.
So now
Well,
that
this is awkward.
I was gonna say, now that Bill and I feel bad that like she would have come. Anyway,
I mean, you all left me.
yeah. But what was the deciding factor? Did Leland decide that Dreg wasn't taking her, or did John reach out to you on Discord or something? Because I missed.
No.
That was the heat of the moment on John's part.
Yeah.
John did
I
say
that
to Drag in
100%.
the episode.
John said to Dreg, "Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaft nudged the dragon, whispered to him, "Hey, get
don't take."
us out of here." And Dreg's like, "I can't leave Shakara." And Shaft was, "Well, she's going to be our woman on the inside, our dragon woman on the inside," kind of thing.
So that's what Elena heard. I don't think Mia heard any of that.
No.
So
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
That's what I was confused about, because somehow I thought when Shakara was Sparky, Mia had heard it, but no, she hadn't. Okay.
Yeah, so I was really struggling with when Leland reminded all of us that it has to be a willing creature, and are you all willing? I was like, oh, because there's a lot of guilt there about Falzarin feeling like it should be him who's dealing with the problems going on at Heraklion. And Shakara's this person who just got dragged into all of this mess. But then, I was reminded that, Falzarin doesn't know that Shakara's not coming.
Right. I mean, under any other circumstances, like if it was anybody but Dreg, like if it was some type of effect, some type of teleportation effect that maybe it's source you were unaware of, like, because it was very clear to all of you that Dreg was teleporting you, there really was no reason for any of you to doubt that Dreg would take all of you, right?
Right.
But if it was maybe from some unknown source or some, less reputable source, we could say, it's like that, because you were being teleported, but you don't know, like, wait, I hope everyone else is coming, but what if someone is left behind? Should I stay behind? It's like that, you know what I mean? Like, what do we do here? But
Like the 1, 2, 3 jump. Is everyone going to actually jump? Like, I used to do it at the pool, with your friends. Like, okay, we're going to jump on 3. And then you don't.
1, 2, 3 teleport.
I will say, Falzarin, if you decided not to go, you would be dead.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Because you would be you with a revenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sardo.
And Isabella,
Sorry, would have went right
She
for you.
said. She said earlier on, she made the way Leland stated it was, "Well, I don't want you dead."
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
Right.
"Well, I don't want you dead." It was, "Well, I don't want you
Yeah,
dead."
exactly.
There was like 3 different
Emphasis on
times.
I.
Yeah.
Falsey was, before I was corrected in being told that Falzarin doesn't know that Shakara's not coming, he was considering staying behind. I think there's just this, Falzarin's going to have this overwhelming sense of guilt, and like Shakara got sucked into something that wasn't her responsibility.
Well, I mean, essentially, you've traded places with her, like.
But not only that,
you got
it's
subbed out. You're calling up the
Right.
ringer here, and you're in the clear.
But I feel like Shakara partly did it to protect Falsey, and also Heraklion is a big piece of this puzzle, and that's Falzarin's baby, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah.
Well, and also, Mia and Falzarin have no idea that Shakara's not coming with them, right? Like,
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
you land wherever you're landing, it's going to be like, where the fuck is Shakara?
Yeah. So here's the thing. When we land and Shaft is like, listen, she's an inside man or whatever, will Mia even believe that, though?
I'm going to look at Drag and go, "What the fuck, Drag?"
Okay, you blame Drag, and then Mia's like, I'm convinced Shakara was unwilling and she stayed behind. She's choosing the coven.
I mean, from our perspective, that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, so if you don't say anything, that's maybe what Mia thinks, right?
Drag
Even
will know
more-
who he targeted with the spell,
Yeah.
and he's not going to lie.
There's no way Drag
No,
won't say
I wouldn't.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't
Well,
turn on
Shaft
Drag.
would
I
know
think
that.
Drag and Shaft are.
Well, yeah, they
I think-
they've had a few different conversations about teleporting them away, and the two of them have seemed to form some type of bond. I mean, it's almost like this bond of survival more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think Drag definitely feels pretty shit about leaving Shakara behind.
I hope so.
Especially if it turns out like she dies or something. Drag's never gonna forgive himself.
He was just standing there, and she offered her to come into the coven, and she was not saying no. Matter of fact, he was almost fighting to get in.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of what's going on, like Drake doesn't really know what's going on or much of the history, right, between Izzy and the different members of the party too. All he knows is like some lady showed up and took over the city and changed his precious safety shell into a weapon of mass destruction.
Mm-hmm.
WMD.
Yeah.
Yep. She just put this thing on Falzarin and just ripped it out of him, and watched this gruesome mess, and Shakara's being offered to be part of the club, and I would think Drag would be all for getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I think there will be part of Drag, though, that is similar to Falzarin in that he feels a bit of responsibility for the well-being of Heraklion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe less so than Falsey does, because I think Drag had been gone for a long time, right?
Yeah,
he'd
like 20
moved
years.
away from Heraklion.
Yeah.
But to an extent, anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, he, much like you, Falzarin, he grew up most of his adult life there.
Yeah.
And only left after having kind of his own fallout with Alamar a little bit. So yeah, in those regards, you and he are quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
How old
Just-
is Drag?
He's more powerful. I would put him probably 10 to 15 years older than Falzarin, maybe. Like, so approaching his 40s, probably.
So old.
Way old. Old enough to be my dad.
I have a couple questions. Did everybody forget about Grimby from Brit?
No.
Oh, boy.
Mia definitely
what a mess.
remembered that she was supposed to heal him, had her spell slot ready, mentioned it, and then stuff just went down.
We
I
just
think
can't
Mia
get to
and
him.
Shaft both wanted to go back to get Grimby before we went to
Shakara
the
wanted to
keep.
too.
Let's see where Drag took
I'm just
us.
saying we verbalized
Maybe
it.
Drag took us right to Grimby.
Oh, maybe.
Let's hope.
Maybe.
Maybe you don't even know where Grimby is.
Well, we thought he was
Knowledge
in the
Center.
Knowledge Center.
library,
Sure, that was
right?
the last
The
time you
Knowledge
saw him,
Center.
but now Janella's
Sure.
in the keep.
That's true.
Maybe Grimby's in the keep.
The Grimby's in the keep and soon.
Oh, jeez. Well, he'll
I don't
be
know
all
the
right.
words.
He's no threat to anybody. But I think the last time we talked to Drag, at least the last time Shaft had talked to Drag, we talked about teleporting back to the mainland.
Yeah.
So that probably was the last thing he thought in his mind.
Maybe Drag's teleporting us into like some cells in the keep, and he's been a traitor this whole time, just waiting for his opportunity.
That would never happen in this campaign.
Not more than once, anyway.
He's a deep scion, and
Can't repeat myself.
Bill Ben says, now that episodes are very close to the actual playtime, what does everyone prefer? Large gaps between releases and playtime, or short gap? I prefer
short
this. Gap. Yeah.
It's been better for the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's better when we don't have big gaps between play sessions.
I think we found that we either have one or two situations where we have a long big gap, or we have so many episodes in the can that we release them faster to try to get to that sweet spot. That I think. I mean, the only downside to this is we got to make sure we have play dates
Right.
scheduled.
Yeah.
There's no real buffer.
Scheduling is
really.
a bit more stressful when we've got 5 of us and our individual schedules that we have to contend with.
But the cool thing is we can play for 2 or 3 hours and have at least a couple episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These last few were on weeknights, just like one episode at a time.
Yeah.
And that does confirm, of course, we are all on the cliffhanger with you, listener of 111. Where is the party going? And et cetera, of what happened with Shakara.
Enter tabletop background music.
To the Isle of Misfit NPCs.
that's where
We'll have
Dragon
everybody
Ball-
back on one show.
That's where Dreg wants to retire. That's it.
Stat door!
Bill, how did the doggies respond to your outcry when you heard Alamar's voice?
Yes. I don't think they did at all. When I record, I'm locked in my little room away from them. So
I had actually sent them a heads up about Alamar's return, so they knew to expect
they're
some type of outcry.
Which one? Your favorite? Fritzy?
Yeah, Fangy's my favorite. I like
Fanky and Fritzy.
Yeah, Fangy and Fritz.
Oh,
Frankie
goodness.
and Fitz. Oh, anyway. They're just sleeping on the couch behind me now. So, I mean, they're just used to us streaming and sitting at this desk now, but they kind of expect treats because someone's been redeeming puppy points.
Now you said the T word.
Uh-oh.
They're definitely going to expect them.
No, they're still sleeping. We're good.
We have one last question from Tomothy. Very important question.
He might hear this after party in a year from now.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
He says, I am vaguely intelligent, so why do I still spray myself when I'm rinsing teaspoons under the tap?
I ask myself that question all the time, Tom.
Well, your problem is that you're rinsing them. You just lick it off and put it back in the drawer.
Problem solved. You're welcome.
There you go.
So luxuries of living alone.
Who does dishes?
I lick every utensil I want.
Back when I used to live alone, I probably did do that.
You probably had one cereal bowl and spoon for like a whole week or
Oh,
more.
yeah.
I don't think there's a single thing in this apartment I haven't licked. Come to think of it. Except myself, because I can't reach.
I think we need a new segment for the after
What
party.
haven't you licked? A segment
Yeah.
where we try to find
Licking.
something Leland hasn't licked.
Getting your
Lick
licks
things
off with Leland.
That's right. Taking a lick.
Oh, that's classic.
I thought saliva was nature's disinfectant.
Yeah, there you go.
That might be
know about that.
bad information to be spreading. Right
Yeah.
now. That's
You
important.
heard it here,
Oh, I
heard it here
almost
first.
just made a
Days.
political joke. I bit my tongue. All right.
Don't do it.
I didn't do it.
Resist.
Just go out and vote. No, I'm just kidding.
So there's a wee little bit of this 111 left that I think Emily and I are just going to discuss ourselves.
Yes.
Kick the
Please
rest
don't
of you
lick
out of
each
here.
other. All right.
Can we come back when you're done? Or is it just going to end?
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens to Shakara when we're
Okay.
Get out of here. We'll call you back.
Good luck, guys.
I've been
Okay.
Mia. Oh, wait.
Oh, man, oh man.
Leland, we can't talk yet because Elena hasn't pulled out her earbuds.
I'm not listening, I swear.
What a cheat.
Oh, man.
Oh, a whole whack load of shit happened in that last, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it did.
Pretty crazy.
Crazy.
That was really fun, too. I could barely keep a straight face role-playing Isabella throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, that was... I still can't believe what I did.
I think afterwards you messaged me and you're like, I wasn't expecting the coven stuff to happen already.
No, I wasn't. I really thought we were coming up here and we were going to fight Isabella.
I definitely thought that this could be the end of Izzy, yeah.
I thought, because you had mentioned that you knew what would happen if we killed our patron.
Yeah.
And the flow of power or lack thereof. So I was, whatever happened, I was going to be good with it. We were going to kill Isabella, and if that meant I died too, then so be it.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's what I expected. It's not what happened. Not even close.
No, fuck, you completely threw me off guard too. Good thing I had all that shit prepared. Well, I thought there was going to be a fight for sure. And that would have been a hell of a fucking fight, too. I don't know how that fight would have went.
I don't think it would have went well, because Sarda would have joined in and...
Most likely, right?
bad.
And he came in with a flesh golem, right? And she had her bodyguards, plus Hulsa there, and Izzy herself. I mean, Izzy is kind of... Izzy really hasn't done much combat-wise this entire campaign, though, really, right? She tried to hug Thuft a couple times. I think if I recall, she critically failed one and smashed up her own podium as she was powering the flesh golem. So, she hasn't really displayed any, formidable skills in combat to date. But she can throw down. She can throw down.
Her skills lie elsewhere, though.
Very true. She has a lot of strengths in other departments. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I was really bummed that you didn't want Percival.
Did you really think I was going to take him?
I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine Mia's face if Shakara had walked up with this?
Down on an undead Pegasi.
Oh, man. That would have caused conflict.
I think even Shaft would have been like, what have you done?
That would have, I think that would have pushed it over the edge, and I don't think they would ever trust Shakara again if I had done that.
I don't think so. Okay, what do you think Mia would say if she ever finds out that about Janella and Tenchi and Hef, and about
that I
what
left them
Shakara-
behind?
Right.
Mia definitely would not have left them behind. She wouldn't be able to see the, in quotes, greater good of them being there. I mean, Isabella had a good point in that if the people didn't think that they were still there, if they didn't think that they were elders, what would happen? There would be another battle, essentially, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they trust Isabella right now, so not right away, but Isabella definitely has a necromancy school on her side.
Mm-hmm.
So there could have been a civil war on Heraklion eventually.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah.
So I really couldn't free them right then. The plan is to come back and get them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, that's the plan. So we'll see, I guess, but...
Does Shakara have a long-term plan for the Coven right now? You have an objective now, right? And that will take as long as it takes, but what comes next? What happens if you're able to retrieve the Eyes of Dendar?
I think... I don't know if getting the eyes back will make Isabella more powerful. And I totally do not believe that we're equals.
No, I was just going to ask.
No, she's definitely still more powerful than I am.
Wow, you never really specified equals. I mean, she did say equals in Dendar's eyes, at least.
Yeah. But I think if I had the others with me, I think we could take her. If we were fully rested.
Oh, there's a really good chance you could.
Yeah, I don't think I could take her by myself.
Yeah, one-on-one. Man, I don't know what that fight would look like. Yeah, that would be a nutty fight. I would like to see that. I wanted the next March Madness, Shakara versus Izzy.
I mean, that's basically why I said, I know I'm not safe because she took out Erica.
Yeah.
She didn't take out Erica, but she planned.
She orchestrated.
She manipulated
it, yeah.
things.
Absolutely.
And Erica was her sister. And now I'm her sister.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not safe. And I wanted to make sure she was aware she's not necessarily safe either.
I love that. I love the relationship now. It's like, it literally is like the two of you are like bickering siblings.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it so much. It's so good. It's so good. But I mean, yeah, like if you, for lack of a better term, step out of line, as far as you know, it's still Izzy and Jessica versus you.
Right.
In the coven, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is Jessica on Izzy's side?
True.
I don't know.
Everything you know about Jessica is from Isabella, so who knows how much truth or untruths there are in what she's told you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they are sisters, but are they really coordinated? Do they work together? Do they like each other? Mm-hmm. Are they actual full sisters, like blood sisters? Or are they just different people that came together to make this coven and became sisters?
Right.
What are their backgrounds? Are they backstabbing, traitorous people? I mean, Isabella has proven herself to be, so that doesn't necessarily mean...
Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah. Does Shakara know... I mean, I guess Shakara knows, like, Isabella's a hag, right? Like, again, we've kind of had this conversation, I think. Like, Erica was a sea hag. You saw Erica's true form. There's this sister, this familial ties that you can put two and two together, really. And now you've also seen some of her illusion being dispelled as she was taking off the scapulet, too. So it's obviously very clear that Isabella is not a human.
Right.
Whether or not it's like the hag specifically is a knowledge. I mean, I think we can just assume that Shakara has that knowledge, right? Like, it doesn't need to be explicitly stated.
I would think Shaft or Falzarin probably would have said something.
Yeah. Although they've been curiously tight-lipped about Isabella's true form. Every time that it has come up, they've really not mentioned anything about it. And I think, obviously, from Shaft's perspective, that's very purposeful. To what end, I don't really know. I think, again, it's like John was saying, Shaft wants to keep himself close to Izzy without suffering the consequences because it can benefit him. And if the lot of you not knowing that she is this terrible, disgusting monster, being as self-righteous as Shakara was, and Mia is, that kind of makes sense why he might want to keep tight-lipped on that stuff. But yeah. I mean, really, the cat's kind of out of the pseudo-dragon's out of the bag. Right? I mean...
Yeah.
So, I don't know what was the point I was going to make with all of that. I don't know if that changes anything in Shakara's eyes, because I guess she could gain knowledge on hags specifically, maybe learn more about them.
What their weaknesses are.
Something, yeah, sure, or maybe their tendencies, which could glean a bit more info on to some of Isabella's characteristics and maybe how they operate. That's always something that I find a sticking point for my games, though, is how far do you take the lore outside of the game into the campaign as far as some of these monsters? I mean, when you think of things like I think hags are, in my opinion, a very well-known monster outside and inside of the game, much like a dragon, right? Like, dragons are like these legendary and monsters or creatures, and while a hag wouldn't be legendary, I wouldn't use the word legendary, but I would think they're certainly fairly common, and they're very common, especially like in low-level campaigns. They're a great low-level big bad for like a 1 to 5. Like, hags are awesome. Hags are great. They're so fun to role play, especially when there's like a coven. Like, I mean, look at the juices I've squeezed out of this coven for 111 episodes.
Eckle juice?
The Eckle juice, yes. I'm so sad you didn't get that right in the episode.
Oh
when you were
god,
recording.
I was laying in bed and I was just thinking about everything that happened that night, and I went, Eckle juice, Beetlejuice, damn it!
I'm sure somebody out there got it.
And I wanted to go to John. He said Beetlejuice, and I couldn't say anything.
Ugh. Okay, so what's Shakar going to do to find the party now? I mean, you're part of this coven. You got these cool powers.
I want to apologize for putting you on the spot for making Sardo say which direction they went, and I know you haven't had a chance to even think about it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So I'm gonna look real dumb if when we
They don't go
next
south?
play and we roll Dreg's teleport and it goes really, really wrong.
Yeah. I mean, Sardo could have just been saying something to get me off his back.
True. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely that possibility.
You don't want to piss off the newly appointed coven member that is a
That is a what? I don't-
You gotta cut that out! Dragonborn!
Oh, I thought that's what you were going for, but I really didn't know. Shakara is a lot of things.
You don't want to. You don't want to piss off the newly appointed Dragonborn coven member.
That's true. Although, like, what Sardo didn't see you get inducted though, right? Like, he's just there. You're just like
Yeah.
a person there that didn't go with the people you wanted to kill. Although, like, you had a hand in killing him before, right? So, like, he's been killed by your party. Although, like, I guess, yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I think Sardo's pretty one-dimensional at this point, right? I mean, I like to think also the more he is killed and has to come back, the less refined he gets as far as like his higher intellect and functioning. Maybe like he's kind of being
Losing himself. He's
yes,
degrading.
exactly. He's degrading. That's true. He's rotting almost, right?
Yeah.
And becoming this really one like sole thing of getting his revenge is what he's the only thing he can grasp onto in these threads of what was Sardo the shopkeep. Sardo the magician is just falling out of his hands, kind of thing.
Doesn't he want to kill Shaft too?
Oh yeah, he wants Shaft and Falls are dead. Yeah.
Okay, because it was Falsey mentioned, so I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Shaft too.
is he kind of really focused on Falsey, but
Yeah.
I love it when the part two when you're like, well, let's ask Alamar about the island. And Izzy's like, well, I guess we could ask Alamar.
Alamar probably would have known.
I think Alamar probably had a pretty good idea of what the Zelwick line had been sitting on for centuries. Yeah, definitely. And or charge themselves to protect, possibly.
Yeah. Wonder if it's in his journal anywhere. Because we
Ooh,
haven't read that
maybe.
whole thing yet.
No.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Whew, man, that's some good roleplay. You know what? I've decided. Oh, that's what I decided. I'm giving you inspiration. I don't care that we do this Patreon thing. You get a point of inspiration for all
Well,
of that.
thank
roleplay.
you.
That was very fantastic. Yeah, that was great.
That was
So
fun.
good.
I liked how you tied it all back to cultists, too.
Yeah,
With
well,
the
I mean,
eyes.
it's been sitting there. Obviously,
Blue light, I shoulda didn't click.
well, and also part of what you got from your very first vision was a cube.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all
and- yeah.
coming around.
Yeah, that makes sense now. So we had to find these gauntlets because he's making an armor,
He's putting a set of armor together. Yeah.
and there's just armor pieces laying around Despara, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
So I give Izzy the gauntlets, Izzy gives the gauntlets to Cultus, and he gives her back the eyes,
That's a Dendar, yeah.
presumably.
Presumably, yeah. But what's Izzy gonna do? What's the plan? I mean, yeah, she said to make Dendar whole. What the hell
It
does
didn't
that
seem
mean?
like she'd really thought this through too much. Shakara asks a couple questions. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you ask questions about everything, like, about other than the eyes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't ask what she's going to do with the eyes, did I?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of did, and Izzy was like, well, we're going to make Dendar whole, and it's going to benefit all of us. Again, these very vagaries that Isabella seems to speak in most often. Yeah, I mean, Izzy doesn't care about the armor pieces, really, right? Like, it's out of her purview, I think, is really what she thinks. Same with the Nyogi. She hasn't had anything to do with them to date. They haven't impacted anything that she's been doing to date. So she doesn't give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Just the way, like, she doesn't really care about Shaft as much as Shaft might want to think that he's made an impression on Isabella. Izzy doesn't give a shit about Shaft. Why would she?
Right, she doesn't need him.
Exactly. And until the day that she does, she'll care about him, right?
Right.
Look how quickly she was easily and willing she was to discard Falzarin when she's got the upgrade now. The 2.0.
Yeah.
So Izzy and Shaft are very much alike, I think, right? Like they
are.
They think in a lot of the same circles, really.
Yeah, how's this work for me?
Exactly. Benefit from themselves, and I suppose from everything that Izzy has conveyed to you, what benefits the Coven as well. And if that happens to be the removal of one of its members and recruitment of a new one, then that is what Izzy will strive to do.
So what was it that Erica did that pissed Isabella off so much that she wanted her dead?
Yeah, I don't know.
When it weakens the Coven to be down one.
It certainly does. Yeah, it absolutely does. They are stronger together.
That's pretty drastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty extreme. It certainly didn't seem to me like they were working together to bring this Kraken and Kralakina into the world. It seemed like that was Erica's thing completely.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely not.
That's all interesting. I like to know the backstory on that.
Hey, I mean, you're in the Coven now. You're in the gang. You pretty much have access to it all, really. And I think it should seem peculiar if, like, Izzy holds stuff back from you, right? Like, she's told you, like, we're equals now. You're my sister.
Yeah.
Although even family has secrets amongst one another.
But she did answer, like you said, she answered all my questions as much as she could.
Yeah.
It's not like she was like, oh, I don't know, I can't tell you that or anything like that. I mean...
Right. I mean, at least she hesitated a little bit to spill the beans in front of everybody, but 100% once she got you...
Yeah.
Once she got you alone...
Yeah. I mean, well, it makes sense to not say it in front of everybody because you don't know who you can trust.
Yeah, totally. I mean, she knows Shaft is untrustworthy.
I think we all know that.
Well, yeah. Shakara definitely knows it now. She didn't before. So, is Shakara going to be pissed at Dreg? Because as far as you know right now, Dreg didn't take you.
I definitely hurt. And like I said in the episode, I think it was Shaft's doing that I got left behind.
True.
Because he did say something about, okay, well, we need to go now, and he listed everybody off except me.
Right.
So I know he was behind me being left.
Right.
But then, yeah, Drag went along with it, and I thought Drag and I were bonding. I
you
thought
absolutely were.
We were friends, and he left me.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, probably Drag and Shaft both will be in the fire.
I feel bad because Dreg feels bad that he left you. Dreg feels awful that he left you.
He better do some quick talking then when I find him.
He's I don't think he'll ever forgive himself for leaving you behind, even if it turns like he figures out that you're safe. That's something he'll be thinking about for the rest of his life. How short or long that may be in chapter 3, who knows? Oh, man. Now I have all these things going through my head that I don't think I really want to say, even if it's an after party. But I'm going to say them because oh, fuck. At the end game, Dreg hasn't even had the time to think about this, right? Like, we haven't even played for him to think about it, but I think about it, therefore Dreg thinks about it. Dreg might feel bad enough that he's not going to be able to look you in the eye.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to be around you, like to stay with you.
Unless I like openly say I forgive you or something, or I understand.
Maybe, but he's gonna be, I think, seeking some serious redemption with you because you saved his life 2 distinct times.
Yeah.
And he just left you behind in this frenetic, like, what is happening? Okay, I have this devil on my shoulder whispering in my ear, but where's the angel on the other side to weigh the consequences of the actions I'm about to take? So I think in that position, like, Dreg was put on the spot by Shaft because I was put on the spot by Shaft.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, it did directly lead to me joining the Coven. I don't know that I would have if I hadn't been left.
Wow, so if this option was posed and everyone was in the room, it's like, join me, and say in the perfect world you had all the information that you got anyways, but join me now. Join the Coven. Let's do it. Take some extra power. You guys can go along your way. Do what I need you to do, what the Coven needs you to do. And they're there. Would you have done it?
I think I would have said, I will go get the gauntlets for you because it is for the greater good of Aspara. But I don't think I would have joined. I think being left is what pushed it over.
Wow. Oh, man. I mean, that's not going to weigh heavy on Shaft at all, but that is going to weigh heavy, very heavy on Dreg. That is Dreg's newest and latest albatross around his neck.
Dreg doesn't know that.
I
yet.
know.
Or ever. I'm not going to walk up and say, hey, I joined the Coven.
You wouldn't put that on it. Well, of course. That makes sense.
I think if I find them again, I'm going to walk up. I'm going to be mad at Mia for calling me out in front of Izzy.
Yeah.
Mad at Shaft for leaving me behind. Probably mad at Dreg for leaving me behind.
Yeah.
And Falzarin, I'll probably walk up and put Death Ward on him so he doesn't fucking die again.
Well, let's talk about your goodies and we can get the rest of them back on because we have some announcements we can get into and then we can sign off. But
yeah, I got portal power.
Portal power.
I mean, the portals aren't in great places.
No, I mean they're in the best places to serve Isabella's needs.
Right.
And I mean, I hope it's clear that like she just where she goes and she thinks she needs it, she constructs it. So that should also point out that she's never really had anything to do with Drakal.
Right.
I mean, she
or
called
Barrack,
it
or
a filthy city. Yeah, exactly. Or any other place that there
the
aren't
Isle.
portals.
Yeah. Valarin Forest.
Right.
It's pretty much just East Coast.
Yeah, you've kind of now
Ish.
gotten almost this like sphere of her influence that she's been imparting on Aspara for who knows how many years, decades or centuries.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. That's a bit of more information that you have. But you got 3 new cool daily abilities.
Yeah, I do. Blight.
Blight's sweet.
Can't remember what it was. I kill plants if I want to. And
Oh, just by touching them? Really? But it is
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of necrotic damage.
yeah, it was a lot of necrotic damage. Oh, I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? Yeah, 8d8 necrotic damage. And half on a success save.
Jesus.
And then non-magical plants just wither and die. Animate dead. I can create an undead servant, which how funny would that be if I walk up with a skeleton walking behind me and Mia sees that?
So, as something I didn't say in the episode is all of those gifts are always cast at a 4th level, which I think Animate Dead is the only one that isn't 4th already. But whenever you use it, it is used as a 4th level spell, as if
Yes.
you've upcasted it. So does that mean you get an extra undead dude, or 2 extra?
I don't think it did. I think it was just the one at 4th level.
No, because I think it's base 3rd level.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look again. But I know I have to cast it again within 24 hours or I don't keep control of it. So I don't know if that means it just wanders off on its own or if it dies again.
Yeah, well, I mean, the spell text does say reasserts control. That's
Right.
interesting wording.
Yeah, so to me, that means it just wanders off on its own. That's what it wants.
Right, you no longer command it. It'll do whatever an undead thing does. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 4th level or higher, or reassert control, you animate or reassert control over 2 additional undead creatures. So when you use this once a day, you can raise potentially 3 undead creatures. 3 zombies or skeletons and any mix thereof. But they must come from a different corpse or pile of bones. While there are certainly a myriad of corpses hanging around Heraklion,
Yeah, there are.
presumably with the shell down, they're probably getting back to cremating and actually dealing with. Because before the shell, there was, smoke wasn't
issue.
escaping it. Yeah.
And then Death Ward, which the first time a target drops to 0 hit points, they go to 1 instead, and then the spell ends. Or if a target would be subjected to an effect that would insta-kill it without dealing damage, the effect is negated.
I'm excited for you to use your new powers, though. Death Ward's pretty sweet and a really handy thing to be, once daily. It lasts, 8 hours, I think?
Yeah, 8 hours. So, I mean, Falsey is the only one that I still care about, which is weird since I had tried to kill him not too long ago.
Yeah. So he was the only other member you would think to use it on, because it's a great thing to use on yourself. You're up in the front. It's really good for you, too.
Since I keep getting knocked out.
Yes. Or turn into a giant ape.
Yeah. And I think that's why Shakara cares about Falsey, because he's proven he cares about her. He's turned me into an ape. He's used his precious resources to save my life.
Right. Falsey would never teleport away and leave you.
No, I don't think he would have.
Fuck, I feel so bad that Drake did that. I can't believe Drake did that.
I feel so bad that I left Janella and Hefe and Tenchi.
Yeah.
In the cages. Man. But I couldn't take them with me. I couldn't.
You really couldn't. No, there wasn't. I mean, I'm surprised you even went to see them.
Well, I had to check on them.
Yeah.
I couldn't just leave. Yeah. I mean, I'm coming to trust Isabella, but I still don't fully trust her.
Sure. Again, though, what lie have you caught her in, or that you've proven that she's told you?
She hasn't. She hasn't lied to me. It's just a general uneasiness.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, she's a very uneasy person.
Plus, it was Alamara Dardos that took them off, and she doesn't necessarily know what he did to him.
Yeah, I mean, they were Tenchi and Half were roughed up a bit, obviously, but they had to. There's no way they weren't going to put up a fight to get put into the cells for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, at least I could stop their bleeding, put a Band-Aid on their wounds.
Yeah, you did something. You woke them both up so they could see that you betrayed them. So.
Exactly. That is exactly what I did. Yeah, they are now all three aware that I ran out and left them. But Isabella would not have let me leave with them.
No, definitely not. She needs them. She wasn't lying when she said she needs them.
And that is a very good point. If somebody was to think that they weren't there.
Yeah. Or to think that Izzy or Alamar did something to them. Although, here's one thing I didn't think about at the time, that Izzy probably, and maybe would have, Alardo just now ran out of the heap to go off into the city, presumably, right? He has to go through the city, so now he's going to be walking around as Alamar through the city.
Without the cane, without...
Right, so what is he going to do? Izzy should be concerned about that in the moment I just didn't think about at all.
Right. People are definitely going to want to talk to him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
We have a couple questions from Britt.
Okay.
She says, Blight is a neat spell, maybe a bit nasty, but she's only going to use it for good, right? Cool twist that Samuel Cultus may be trying to do something good by fighting the Neogi. I thought that was a cool twist, too. That is interesting, and I think that'll be a good way for me to get Mia on my side to help me go find the armor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you and she have spoken very briefly about the Neogi. Again, on mic, there's always this ambiguity of what is exchanged during a long rest and things that we don't explicitly role play on mic, because obviously that would happen between some of your characters. But I think what Elena fails to do sometimes is think about what your characters would not want to say. And that's obviously something very important to John and Shaft, what Shaft would not disclose. is quite a bit. So it's tough you can't make assumptions of what what your characters have been told or would say. So it's difficult. That's a difficult thing to navigate sometimes, but definitely there's that link between the two of you for sure.
Yeah, she definitely had mentioned them to me.
Oh yeah, I mean that was her purpose of being on this side of Aspara, is trying to dig up info about the Nyogi for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, hey, Isabella unwittingly then has handed you this card to play to hold over Mia like a true hag would.
Right, right. And then the tricky part is going to be getting Shaft to help because he wants to do the tower jobs, but Shakara doesn't know anything about that. And I have a connection that the towers will be taken care of if we can get this armor.
Right.
But I don't know that he wants to do that. So that's going to be tricky.
Sure. I mean, all Shaft knows is he wants the power source of the towers to bring back to Detmer. That just happen to be the eyes of Dendar.
Right. Really... He's not going to get the power sources.
Right. So what is Shakara going to... Is Shakara going to fuck with them and basically like say like, hey, like my goal is to get these things. But why would Shakara say that, right? Again, since Shakara doesn't know it's Shaft's intent to get the things that power the towers or to do anything with the towers, why would she say anything like that, right? She doesn't know she has that card to play over Shaft.
Right. And then even saying that we need to help Samuel Cultist, who's been destroying the land and a lot of people dislike, that probably wouldn't go over very well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only encounters that Shaft and Falsey have had with members of the Paladins of Cultists, they both got knocked unconscious.
Well, that was Bryn. Never mind. Bryn had encounters with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Whew. Very cool. I like it. Chapter 3 is going to be pretty sweet. And it does feel like we're finally like moving towards a potential like campaign end point too, really, into chapter 3.
It does.
Yeah, things are finally the ravels are finally you're finding the ends of them, and hey, they're connected to something.
Yeah. I like where Shakara is going right now.
I think it's dope. It's awesome.
Very interesting. Just I don't know, it's just a lot more dimension.
What's Shakara's like? Where's Shakara going to be campaign end? Like, I mean, again, assuming she survives at the end of the campaign, her ending could be just like the finality of a seat in this coven now, like doing coven-y stuff. Like, who knows?
Or is she going to want to get rid of the coven and be the only link to Dendar?
Yeah.
Or is she eventually going to say, I can't do this anymore and try and get out of the coven?
Right. What do you think would set Shakara off to come to that decision, saying, okay, this coven's like, I can't use this for good. Like, I know I can't use this for good. I can no longer tell myself that over and over again to try to make it true. Like, it just can't be done. What kind of drastic thing would have to happen, do you think?
If she lashed out and hurt somebody that she loved, like Falzarin or Campbell or Grimby.
Okay.
If she hurt one of them, even accidentally.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That would change things.
That's cool. I like it. There's a lot of dimension to Shakara. Yeah. I mean, Shakara always had a lot of dimension. I think Shakara is definitely one of my favorite PCs in the campaign. Even though it might seem like Falzarin has been to date, because he's been a lot of the focus. And that's not like...
Well, I mean, that just happened because Heraklion tie-in and everything with the Kraken.
Yeah, and it's all taking a lot longer than maybe was ever anticipated. But I mean, really, that's nothing I'm doing or anything that was done on purpose or like a fault of what you as players have been doing. It's just like, that's just how the cookie crumbs have been vacuumed up and how the tea leaves have been being read, kind of thing, right? Like...
Yeah. I'm not upset with it.
This is the path of information in which the party has uncovered and it has taken them on. And it's definitely a lot different than what I thought was going to happen like from the outset. Certainly, some campaign things have changed. I mean, obviously, the towers back when it was Shaft, Falsey, Bryn, and Gozer, the towers weren't the eyes of Dendar. That wasn't a thing, right? Until Dendar came in and Shakar. Like, so like that's how the campaign has evolved. And I think, to toot my own horn, smartly made some things ambiguous to be able to tie them in to other things down the line, which I'd recommend because it's really cool when you get to do that and link to your players. Now I just hope Shakar doesn't die.
Yeah, no, it has been really cool how you linked everything in. And I so want to tell the others that it's the eyes of Dendar, but
Right.
obviously I'm not going to. But I'm like,
Right.
I wish you guys could know.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that we're tying it back in with the Neogi and the towers and everything. And that's all
Totally.
coming back.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, honestly, like with all the Kraken, the Kralakina stuff, like it's not fully closed, but for all intents and purposes, the chapter on that is closed. I mean, yes, there's still he's still out there, and he still clearly wants Mia, right?
Yeah,
he wants
he's a
he
Triton's
wants to
problem
have
now.
a relationship with Mia. He's what now?
The Triton's problem.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll just capture him and then bada bing bada boom.
And that's all we'll know until he shows up in Mia's life again. Somehow.
Yep, absolutely. Whew, man,
And start
so
corrupting
good.
her.
Yeah, well, he tried.
He didn't try hard enough.
Well, it's funny the parallels between Kralakina and Isabella, because it's almost like they're working from opposite ends. They're doing their things backwards when it comes comparing like Shakara's situation and Mia's situation. I don't think Kralakina doesn't want to corrupt Mia really. Like both of these, like Kralakina and Izzy, both believe in what they're doing and the way they do it, and they both believe that it's the right way to do things, and they both believe that it's going to benefit either party. It's just a matter of these now familial ties in kind of both cases. I mean, you are her sister, Izzy's sister now. You're a sister. It's just like Izzy has accomplished convincing the family to be the family, but there's still work there for Kralakina to do.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, honestly, I thought like Izzy was really working at that on the back foot, but she got ya in there. I mean, yes, as you say, all these extraneous influences definitely played a part in Shakar's decision, and I will say, I mean, I should say this to John, so he hears it, but I will say that it is awesome how the little things Shaft does are impactful, and how subtly impactful a lot of what John role plays into Shaft has on the party and the campaign itself. So it's really pretty damn cool. John's a pretty good role player, but don't tell him I said that. Hell, I have half a mind to give him inspiration for the teleport
No,
away too.
you can't give him any, no.
Whew, well, I think that's all the questions we had specifically about this part, right? We can
Yes.
get everybody back on and wrap things up here.
Yep. I can't wait to play again.
It's going to be fun. Honestly, though, I think the first play session, like, you're not going to be in it.
Yeah, probably, yes. Because you got to find out where they went.
Yeah, I mean, I know where I've had the time to think. I know where they're going, but yeah, I don't see that being wrapped up all that quickly.
So yeah, you all just play without me, and then, if you need me on that session, I can be available. Otherwise, I can be doing other shit.
True. Too much mining.
I know, I was like, Bill, I want to get in one mining run before bed. I probably could have while you guys were off mic, but I didn't know, so.
Well, we're all back now.
Yeah.
We
That's
back.
in the episode.
From outer space. No, it's not in the episode now.
Well, yeah, it is, because I'm going to launch right in
No,
to the
launch
two
right.
announcements we had.
Nope.
Nope, it's launched.
No,
I'm launched.
just unlaunch.
Leland, not while we're recording, please. Wait till afterwards.
Unlaunch. Just like a big awkward pause right now.
To finish
You almost
our
killed me.
after party,
Okay, now you gotta do it again.
we have everybody back on mic.
Bill.
For what we had two last announcements. So this is if you're in our Discord, which you should be joining. I don't know why you aren't in there.
Yeah, come on, people.
It's a happening place.
We did mention that this does conclude chapter 2. I mean, we have kind of alluded to it as we're speaking throughout this episode, without explicitly stating it right off the top. Chapter 2's done.
Yep.
Woo!
Yay.
Without a character death?
Oh, maybe we'll
Question
kick one off.
Oh, okay.
Well, chapter 2 kicked off with the character death.
Oh,
Chapter 3
right.
will probably do the same.
Rip.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't gonna be Falsey because he's a cockroach.
You're gonna see some new character Emily's be playing showing up wherever the hell you teleported. And... Oh wow! You're gonna pop right in front of Emily's new character. That's how we'll start chapter 3.
Okay, boy, say so.
We have to prank him now, Leland.
You guys are the worst. You guys are the
Oh,
worst.
that would be bad.
The worst.
So bad.
Oh, that is actually funny.
Do we have to wait for John's birthday or?
Yeah.
No, that's a prank on only John.
Oh.
Anywho.
What is happening?
So once this after party releases, we do have a bit of a break for the Aspara sessions. But there will be some releases still. There was a one shot that we recorded a pretty long time ago, which is usually the case with our recordings. With Chris Renshaw, we played Tangled in the Slipstream, which is a new RPG that's being developed by himself and Calvin Wong.
Is slipstring.
String, like
Slipstring. Did I say stream? I said,
Yeah.
damn it.
Should we do it?
Damn it. Well, I'm not redoing it. This episode's long enough.
We don't redo anything in these after parties. Dang it! Now you have to leave it all in.
I'm showing at the 2-hour mark here. I don't know how much this is going to be cut down. But
I know. Well, the last thing we have to talk about is some upcoming giveaways. Who wants to say that?
an extravaganza, one might say.
Oh! Exclamation point!
Exclamation
Exclamation
point.
point included.
You know, we jokingly discussed doing that. I can't believe we actually did it. All right. Good job, everybody.
We're that cheesy.
There was never any doubt in my
For
mind.
those guys.
I knew it was coming.
That somehow we offhandedly mentioning doing an extravaganza and everyone saying exclamation point pulled off way better than us signing out after 37
for
of these
sure.
episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
To sum it
how
up,
it
we
goes.
reached out to some dice companies, and we've got a lot of bites. So, I mean, we've got some dice. We got some things to give
Got
away.
some sponsored giveaways.
Oh, yeah, quite a few dice sets. Each going to be their own kind of giveaway to enter and blah, blah, blah. So details
Stay
to
tuned.
follow. Yeah, exactly.
As usual, stay tuned.
Yeah.
TBD. But yeah,
Follow
I'm
us on
excited.
Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for
Some
giveaway
of
announcements.
These
notifications.
companies make some pretty cool dice, like custom.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what you're supposed to say is all the companies in which we're going to give away a set from make
Oh,
some
sorry.
really cool dice.
Well, one specifically that I saw is named Triton, and I think it's a great choice, if I may say so myself,
Meant
Well.
to be.
to end the Heracleonian chapter. How come I can say Heracleonian now?
Hey, Heracleonian chapter ain't ending, okay?
You've been practicing.
No, I had a glass of wine, and now I can say it perfectly fine.
That's all it takes.
Took the pressure right off you.
Loose lips sink islands. So drink up.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
More of that
Okay.
coming in chapter 3.
Too soon. It should also be mentioned that anyone who is a patron automatically gets entered in the giveaway bonus entry.
Right.
Yeah, boy.
So you're
Absolutely.
still able to entry via all the other means that will be part of the giveaway, but you will get a bonus as
Yes, starting at all levels get automatically entered into each giveaway. Huzzah!
well. Yeah, boy.
Huzzah is finally said on our
Exclamation point.
podcast.
Speaking of the Patreon, we our next Patreon only mini campaign, as voted by the patrons at the Fireball tier and above, will be coming shortly. So stay tuned.
And
We're
we're
playing
playing?
End of the World,
There you go.
as we know it.
That's right.
And I feel fine.
We feel great.
Place your bets on who's going to die first.
Me.
Yeah, well, in End of the World, we play ourselves, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
going to be...
Crap. Wait a second, so I can't pretend to just be Mia or Bryn?
No.
And it's really
You don't
me?
have-
Will actually be
You don't
Elena.
have the guys to hide behind.
I'm not ready for my voice acting yet.
Yeah, I haven't nailed down my voice. How do I do a Leland?
Just say things wrong, like Southern and Cavern and Escape, and you'll be fine.
Oh, boy.
So rude. So rude.
Ruthless. Just so rude. Ruthlessly rude.
Oh, well.
I think that's everything.
Everything.
Thanks for
Yep.
tuning in for chapter 2. There will be a chapter 2 recap as well after Tangled in the Slipstring stuff. So yeah,
Tell your
Stay
friends,
tuned for
tell your
that.
enemies. They can be caught right up. Sort of.
absolutely.
They will not understand the after party references, but, you know.
Oh, that's very true. Well, I bet you if you went and listened to the recaps and just the after parties, you'd have a pretty good gist of everything.
Yeah.
And you would
Yeah.
understand
Yeah,
how
I think that'd be
silly
a
we
good way.
really are.
I think the nice thing about the recaps, people can jump in and see if they like the story and if they like us after listening to only a few episodes.
Who wouldn't?
And then if they really love it, they can go back and listen to our back catalog if they want.
Yeah.
We have listeners
Chapter
that have
2 is really
listened to everything through once, and they're re-listening for fun.
It's true. It's true.
Blows
And not
my
even
mind.
from a different IP address either.
We're not even
Crazy.
paying them.
We're not even paying them.
In fact, some of them are paying us.
Exactly. It's been so fun.
We love you, listeners.
Oh man, listeners. Ugh, this wouldn't be as fun without sharing the story with other people.
I'm pretty pumped about chapter 3 and what's coming.
Yeah.
I am super
I'm
excited.
really excited for chapter 3. I was saying to Emily while the rest of you were off mic, like it finally feels like the campaign is like moving to an end point. So like we could finish this in chapter 3.
What?
Sure.
I don't like the fact that Leland and Emily are very excited about what's happening in chapter 3.
You all died.
Aren't you all? Aren't you all
Win.
excited
I
to
feel
see?
a little bit left out.
Aren't you excited to see where you're gonna teleport?
What are we so excited about?
I am excited
Yeah.
about where we're
Super
going to
excited.
teleport.
You're gonna like where you get teleported, assuming the roll goes well. We still gotta roll for it.
I was really
Drake
hoping to
never
save
misses a
Grim.
roll.
You're just gonna come right back where you were.
Drake never, yeah, he's actually
Fade
just
out
outside
and come
of the,
right
the
back.
Great
I
Hall.
actually like that you're
He's like 10
saving.
feet back.
So you're saving the roll for day 1 of chapter 3. You're not gonna like.
I'm gonna roll
There we go.
when
Okay.
we play. Yeah.
All right.
And obviously, I
That's
will
cool.
plan according to the roll going well. But if it goes poorly, then I don't know what's gonna happen.
I feel like you should have that plan in your back pocket. Unless you do have inspiration, you could use it to benefit the party.
That's
No.
They gave you the inspiration,
Don't
and
be
you are
ridiculous.
Dreg.
That would be the mark of an inspired DM.
Um,
right there.
The best DMs are for the party.
He does. Oh, come on! I am for the party. He doesn't roll a d20 on his teleport. Although
What does he do?
he rolls a d100 to see. It's a percentile. Depending on how familiar he is of the place in which he's teleporting to, he gets a
right.
larger
Yes,
range.
yes.
So
of a
inspiration
mishap, of
means
something going wrong.
squat.
Kinda, yeah.
What about
Okay.
a D20 roll to remember the place better?
do a history check first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. Chapter 2's been fantastic. Chapter 1 was
Yep.
also fantastic. Everything we do is fantastic. Let's be honest.
It's an extravaganza!
Not to toot our own horns or anything.
Yeah. These last 2 episodes have been my favorite 2 episodes
Yeah?
from the very beginning. So I'm glad we're wrapping it on those 2.
Like I think I said elsewhere that I was suspicious that I wasn't suspicious. I was expecting that, the end of chapter 2 might be a big, huge fight and we end up killing a big baddie or one of us dies or something. But instead we ended with like an interesting story driven moment, which I think is really, where our podcast excels is
True.
the story. Yeah.
I
It's
agree.
not some combat
So I like
like
it.
last time.
Yeah.
Because we're all terrible at combat.
Who's Bryn?
That's
That's where we
accurate.
make all our rule mistakes.
Gone.
That is
Oh,
true.
man.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's do
I've
it.
been John and Shaft for chapter 2's done.
I've been Emily and Shakara.
Oh, I go before you?
I've been John and Shaft. Chapter 2 is just as screwed up as chapter 1.
Are we redoing it all?
I don't know. Are we?
We can just redo it.
We'll do it. This is,
Well,
this
John
is
went
just
2
god-awful.
times, so I'm like, do I wait for Emily or do I go?
I don't know.
All right.
Emily knows John always comes 2 times.
That's right. You're right, baby.
Now it's got to stay in because Leland's like, I'm so funny. I'm going to leave all this in.
All right. I've been John and Shaft. Goodbye.
I've been Emily and Shakara.
I'm Elena. I play Mia.
I've been Bill and Falzern.
And I'm Leland Steele. Happy adventuring.
You sound like Lurch when you finish talking. So we're saying you trail
Lurch
off.
died
again.
young. John watched a thing the other day about it.
Yeah.
Who's
That's
Lurch?
all I remember. Lurch died young.
The actor, I'm
Who?
assuming.
Adam's Family? No, Monsters. No, Adam's Family.
I've never
Adam's
seen
Lurch
Adam's
is
Family.
Adam's family.
Yeah, Lurch is Adam's family.
So the original Lurch died young then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the 1990s version
No.
films.
I have some gaping holes in my pop culture references, like when it comes to that. Like I haven't seen Adam's Family or.
Oh, the first one was
Tommy does
actually really
too.
good. Christina
Tommy
Ricci's-
never watches
Ricci
TV
makes
or
those
movies or listens to music
Yeah.
or anything.
The first Addams Family had a budget of less than 30 million and made 140. The second Addams Family had a $40 million budget and made less than 40.
Ooh.
It was
How do you know those statistics off the, top of your head?
newer movies?
because I recently watched the 90s movies. Yeah, because I recently watched them on Thanksgiving weekend. Actually, they were on TV. I was watching them with my brother.
So when you watch movies, you like Google them and.
I was
look at
just
their-
curious. The first one must have made money to get a sequel, so I was curious. The dollar values, especially from 90s movies, I was interested.
I remember
Was
thinking
there a
the
third
second
one?
one
You
wasn't
did
very good.
The second one was really bad. And it was actually really poorly written too, so no wonder it made no money.
Sequels are always awful. Almost always awful.
Whoa, I can hear Bill. This is tripping me out, man.
Well, also the second one was they went way darker with the dark humor. So it was way more egregious, all of the death. Ooh, we love death kind of shit, that Addams Family is. The first movie was way more subtle and quite clever, especially in some of the line delivery from the actors. But the second one was just fucking over the top. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Was it the same actors and everything?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
see the
same
second
same cast. And
one.
they also
Wow.
Fester was just a terrible character in the second movie too.
Well, writing makes a big
Wasted
difference.
Christopher
Remember
Lloyd.
Game of Thrones season 8?
Writing
They had
makes a
nothing to
difference.
work with.
Yeah, you can have shit actors and have great writing and it still be an okay watch.